Hey everybody, it is ex Bethelite. This is I think only my third video on this channel. I'm just beginning. I did a couple videos several months ago, and I haven't really done a whole lot since then. So I figured this would be a good time to start beginning these videos again. Me talking about my religion, growing up as a Jehovah's Witness, the experiences that I had with that, and kind of where I'm at now in life. Um, it's very interesting um, to see the development of social media over the last several years and resources that are available to people to help them wake up. And that's something that I kind of wanted to talk about. So for 2021, the theme of this video is what are Jehovah's Witnesses up to these days? From what I can see, I haven't had one come to my door in quite some time, probably a couple years. So that tells me, I think the last time I saw any Jehovah's Witnesses, um, I think it was like a Saturday. I take my son to his soccer. He has soccer tournaments on the weekends, and I recall the last time I saw any Jehovah's Witnesses was at a cart. They had a cart witnessing set up near the soccer fields. So as parents and families were coming to the soccer fields, they stood there with their cart and had their literature out. And I observed this for a little while, maybe several minutes. I didn't see one person go up to them and talk to them, and I didn't see the witnesses talk to anybody either. So I don't know. I don't see them come door to door much, at least in my neighborhood. Um, I don't think they've completely given up door to door witnessing, but it seems like I think the easier route is to not engage people, right? Especially with the pandemic, and maybe a lot of congregations. I'm at. I don't know. I don't go to meetings anymore, but I would imagine a lot of congregations are not promoting going door to door. Probably not a good time to go door to door when everyone's worried about contracting a virus. So I would imagine the last year or so has really, really affected their proselytizing and their witness work. So the only time I've seen any Jehovah's Witnesses is once in a while doing some cart witnessing, which I don't think is all that effective. The cult is slowly being destroyed by really the internet. I think that's the biggest enemy. Of course, they want their fellow witnesses to believe it's apostates. Apostates are creating problems. They're turning people away from Jehovah, but it's really the internet is what's destroying the cult. And truth does that, right? I mean, if you expose anything to truth, and the internet is really the freedom of information. That's what's made it so powerful. As an example of that, just a small little example. I'm old enough to remember my father not every year, but every couple of years, he would get he would buy a volume of encyclopedias. They were really nice, bounded encyclopedias, A through Z, covering all kinds of subjects. And he was really into them. When he got them, he would read them. And my dad was always very knowledgeable. Anytime we ever watched Jeopardy or something like that, or we played a board game called Trivial Pursuit, he was a very well-read man. And I remember him when I was a young boy, that he would read the encyclopedias. So prior to the internet, that's how you kind of gained information. You read encyclopedias, or you went to the library and you just researched and read a book on a particular subject. Now, you have Google, right? You can Google a particular subject, and it immediately becomes available for you to read and disseminate. And it's good and bad. It's certainly good for everyone to have readily accessed information, but not good for Jehovah's Witnesses because it's also made it very easy for them to access information that criticizes the religion or the cult, that exposes their doctrinal falsehoods, many reasons why they don't have truth. They have falsehood. And there's all kinds of evidence of that, very well documented evidence. I think the website that really helped me out the most when I was in my process of waking up and mentally leaving the cult behind me, I think the thing that really helped me the most was having access to a website called jwfacts.com. So jwfacts.com is a website that I believe the purveyor of the website, he was an ex-Jehovah's Witness. So of course he's viewed as an apostate. Obviously it's viewed by Jehovah's Witnesses as an apostate website. So the website's not really beneficial for Jehovah's Witnesses, because if you're a good Jehovah's Witness, a practicing Jehovah's Witness, you're really not going on the internet, and you're told not to search anything that is critical of the religion or the cult. So witnesses are not the ones that are going on JW Facts. I mean, maybe a witness that has already made up their mind that they're in the process of waking up. They realize there's hypocrisy here. There's things that are not right. There's many things that are not right in this religion and this cult. But the JW Facts really just is there to confirm things that you felt. And they're giving you factual information to back up why you're making the decision to wake up and leave. What I think is more important is people that are not Jehovah's Witnesses that might have been approached by one. And Jehovah's Witnesses, they're very nice people. They come off very cordial, very polite, very, very nice. And that can be appealing to somebody, right? That, especially somebody who may be searching for things in life. Maybe they haven't found their true purpose. Maybe they're going through a difficult time in their life with personal issues and problems. That's when cults and religions, especially religions that are more like cults, they have that sense of community and they really attach themselves to people. So what I notice is people that are in a state of problems or a state of discontent or having major issues mentally, maybe, they are easily attracted to cults. So what I like about the internet, Facebook, JW Facts, basically any Google search that you do on Jehovah's Witnesses will pull up sites that give you the counter argument. And that's really what's needed. If somebody is approached by a Jehovah's Witness today and they're given a message, hey, this is what your Bible says, and they're given a positive message and it sounds really good. Hey, would you like to see your dead loved ones again? That can happen. There's a provision in the Bible that talks about this. And so they hear these things and they've not heard this before. Wow, I get to see my dead love. My mother just passed away last year. You meaning I can see her again at some point? She's going to be resurrected. I mean, they hear these things and it piques their interest. The great thing is they go on Google and they type in Jehovah's Witnesses, and they are going to get, obviously they're going to get jw.org, which is the Jehovah's Witness official website. They're not going to click on that. They're going to click on sites like JW Facts, websites that are critical and give another story, another perspective on the religion. And really what it will do is it will show the person who's interested that, hey, this is a cult. It's a dangerous cult, and here's why. And I think the biggest thing that destroys this cult is the fact that the information is so easily attainable to people. If you knock on somebody's door and you identify yourself as a Jehovah's Witness, as soon as you leave, what are they going to do? They're going to go on their phone or on their computer and they're going to Google Jehovah's Witnesses, and they're going to have the good and the bad and the ugly right away. And that will easily, usually in most cases, that will keep them away from talking to Jehovah's Witnesses again. That's the great thing about the internet, the great thing about social media, especially if someone really wants to dig in, they can hear experiences of ex-Jehovah's Witnesses who have left and all the things that they are dealing with after leaving. And that's the big sign of a cult, is what happens after you leave. That's how you know you're in a cult. If you're being shunned by family members who are part of that religion or cult, that's the biggest tell, is how you're being treated after you leave. Because, some Jehovah's Witnesses are disfellowshipped for bad behavior or violating many rules that they have. And then other witnesses, they just decide to fade, or they just stop going to meetings. And over time, really, they're treated differently. And then there are witnesses that decide they're going to disown the religion. They're basically making a public proclamation that they are no longer Jehovah's Witness, that they don't believe in the religion. And that's called disassociation, which is the same thing as disfellowship. Basically, as soon as they announce that to the congregation, everybody that knows you, everybody that's ever known you, it could be your best friend for 20 years, they immediately will shun you, won't talk to you anymore, won't take your phone calls. Even your own parents who raised you, who are supposed to love you unconditionally, will begin to shun you. So that is the death nail of the cult, is the internet and the ability for people to understand what this cult does to families. So you don't see major growth anymore in that religion. You don't see massive amounts of people coming into it anymore. Really, it peaked probably in the mid to late 80s. That's the last time you really saw a huge influx of people coming into that religion. Since then, it's been on a major decline. In fact, I think it's declining so much that I believe that they're publishing numbers that are completely inaccurate as to what's really going on. Because if you look and you see what's happening all across the United States, for instance, many of these kingdom halls are being closed down. They're being sold. There's all kinds of reports, public record of these kingdom halls being sold, congregations being consolidated. That's not a sign of growth. That's a huge sign of decline. And I couldn't be happier. I think it's one of the best things that could ever happen, is the decline of that cult. So I just wanted to do a video talking about that real quick, that I think for 2021, the pandemic last year, it's probably going to wake up a lot of people too. If you think about it, a lot of people weren't going to meetings anymore. They were doing them through Zoom calls. So it gives distance to people, and that's kind of what's needed to sort of wake people up. I think if witnesses who are starting to have any little doubts anyways are away from the congregation, are kind of separated, that begins their process of starting to question more, and it's sort of a way for them to wake up. In fact, you've heard many of experiences of witnesses who went to other countries and were with congregations where they didn't speak the language all that well, and that separation allowed them to have that process of waking up and really reevaluating their beliefs. Why are they in this religion? What are their goals long term? And I think that's a good thing. So I think the great thing about the pandemic and this virus is that it's probably waking up a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses, and you're going to see the community of ex-Jehovah's Witnesses grow tremendously, I think, over the coming years. So that's the good news for 2021. I think you're going to see a lot more people waking up, in seeing what this cult really is about. Every day there's some news, whether it's child sexual abuse, shunning. There's all kinds of issues with this cult, and a lot of people are beginning to wake up, and that process is only accelerating. And so I'm very hopeful that that will continue. I don't have a whole lot of hope that my family in particular will ever wake up. They're pretty deep in. Again, I was a fourth generation Jehovah's Witness, so it's pretty much entrenched very deeply in the psychological makeup of the family. I'm the only really immediate person in my family that has woken up and gotten out. I don't expect my immediate family members to ever do that, but you never know. There's always hope. I mean, people are waking up all the time. Sometimes something happens in someone's life that makes them question things, and that's all it takes is just that little thread. Pull on that little thread a little bit, really start to evaluate themselves, and maybe that's what will happen. I don't know. I mean, I would love my family to eventually wake up and see what it's that cult has done to their lives. It's basically destroyed them, and they're not happy. I know they're not. It's sad. I've seen many witnesses over the years really try to fake being happy, and it's literally what it is. Is they're pretending they're going and associating with other people that tend to be pretty miserable as well. I think they really try to put on an act, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe things will accelerate here in the coming years. Yeah, we'll find out. The end of the world is not coming. I'm sure that's one of the things they talk about. Oh, the pandemic, it's one of the signs of the last days. Sorry, the last days aren't coming. Life will continue as it always has. All those living will never die was a complete lie. That was a 1935 convention speech. Everyone that attended that convention is long dead now. So again, another piece of proof, even if you ever needed it, to show that the religion is basically a falsehood, a cult, and never had the truth. It never did. It's been a lie since the beginning of the religion, and more people are really waking up to that. So I wanted to just shoot this video real quick to kind of update you guys for 2021. I'm going to try to do more videos. Maybe every month or so I'll try to do another video going into other subjects. This was one that I just wanted to talk about what's happening in 2021 and why I think the internet is so important for the freedom of information. All right, guys, I appreciate you watching this video. If you can, please leave a comment. Let me know what you think, and I will see you soon. Thank you.